Again, is take action, which meaning all the stuff that you need to do. Remember I told you before, if you write something down, it becomes 75% more likely to happen. Write it down, okay? Make little check marks and when you decide you're going to do it. But you can decide mentally you want to do something, but until you take action, massive action, to get it done, it won't happen. If I want my forehand to get better in tennis, okay, what are the steps that I need to do? I might write down, well, I need to hit on the ball machine. I need to make sure that I really work on my palm down. That's fine. I can think about that mentally. So until I'm ready to hit 5,000 balls on the ball machine, or have somebody feed me 5,000, 10,000 balls, it will not happen. Okay? The ball machine, I can think about, I want my forehand to get better, I want my forehand to get better, I want my forehand to get better. It's not going to get better. You've got to take massive action, okay? So that's a big one. Preparation is next to that, all right? We have to prepare. If you want to be great at something, you have to do your homework, all right? We all know what the word procrastination is, right? Procrastination, and we all have procrastinated in our lives before, right? Right? The more you try to stop, all right? Stop procrastinating, the better you're going to be. When you have a test, prepare. When you have a match, prepare. When you go into a tournament, make sure your bag is ready. Make sure your grips are if you need new grips on your racket, make sure that stuff gets done before you go out onto the court. All the little things make the big stuff happen, okay? The one next to that is perseverance. Again, so I take massive action, and I'm out in the court, and I'm hitting forehands. And I'm giving you the tennis analogy, but this can go anything you want in life. I'm hitting tons of forehands, tons of forehands. I'm out there for a half an hour. Things aren't going my way. I can't get my palm down. My coach is telling me, look, you feel like you're, flipping your racket open again. I'm out there for a half an hour, hit, 500 balls. It's just not going my way. You got to persist without exception. I'm going to get this no matter what. Nobody's going to talk me out of it. Okay, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going. I'm not stopping, I'm going to keep going. That's persistence. All right, so we really want to work that. So if you look at this, and after I explain each one of these, and you guys look at this, I mean, it's life. It's what we do every single day. All right, so we really want to make sure we pay attention to that. All right, I'm going to make this kind of quick, because I want to get to the volleys. I'm excited about volleys. I love volleys. You know I love volleys, Kira? Love volleys. All right? Handling criticism. Handling criticism. How do we handle it? Okay, so can I tell the story? Can I tell the story? So I'm going to tell it anyway, just to make him happy, right? So this is what we do, all right? So this morning, Tyler was hitting 2 forehands across, right? 2 forehands across, and he went halfway to the net, turned around. He was supposed to touch the net. He thought that he didn't have enough time to touch the net, okay? He didn't have the time, and he knows better as a student of mine and a son of mine. Everybody else in that court might not have known better. I didn't even know what everybody else was doing. Right? I turned around and I saw Tyler cut halfway, okay? I got it, he just kind of like, what, Dad, And then if you were on the court next to me, you heard me get a little bit fired up, right? Because he knows better. He decided to choose the easy way out, okay? So he needs to be able to take that criticism, okay? And he needs to do what he wants with that, okay? My suggestion to him would be, hey, was Dad right? Was I supposed to touch the net every time? Was I trying to cut a corner? Okay? The hard part was, okay, obviously, I got on him pretty hard there, right? But the hard part is it was constructive criticism. It was constructive criticism, and he knows that. But he can be like, oh, I can't believe I got yelled at. I can't believe that this happened. Or he says, yes, I should have been touching the net, and I know better. See, does that make sense? So it's how you handle criticism is gigantic. Okay? Even if I, as a coach, and I have to make a decision of how hard I'm going to be on it, if you ask him, I'm not as hard probably as I should be. Okay? I was pretty hard on it back there. It's probably the hardest I've been in a while. But he needs to understand that that's what needs to happen. You cannot cut corners. And if you guys want to take the shortcut, you're going to take the shortcut home. All right? You can't cut corners. If you're studying for a test, you can't cut corners. You got to do it. All right? So it's hard to take constructive criticism. I'm a pretty sensitive person. You guys might not know that about me, but I'm really sensitive. right? And if 100 people come to my camp and one person doesn't have a good time, I get bummed out. I really want everybody to have a great time. So if somebody says, your camp was great, but you didn't, you didn't do enough. You didn't play enough doubles, right? Everybody can say what they didn't get. There's a lot of times we'll get what people do want, we'll get what they didn't get. So I focus sometimes, like at least 10 years ago, I would focus on what, I think like, oh, the negative. Instead of taking the constructive criticism and saying, I heard we didn't work on enough doubles, you may be right, we need to work more on doubles. Does that make sense? You really need to listen. Now, there are two people that give constructive criticism. I'll say the word criticism, not constructive criticism. There's two people that give constructive criticism. The people that kind of just try to tear you down, just to tear you down. Right? I'm talking about that person. That person just wants to bring you down. Somebody that's always beating you up. Always beating you up. You're not doing it right. I don't think we need to listen to that person. Right? I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the person that you could be a parent, could be a coach, could be somebody that says something to you, and could be in the middle of something or whatever, and you immediately get defensive. This happens a lot in my family because I think that I'm one of those people that kind of point out things that I'm trying to do better at. But if I point something out, everybody in my family, is that not true, Ben? Everybody in my family, the first thing they say is, I didn't do that. Oh, really? Okay, I just didn't see that. But they immediately get defensive. And I want you guys to really realize, don't get defensive when you hear criticism. Think about it, walk away from it, and then say, do I really need to change this? That's important. Do I really need to change this? And if you get that part, you get everything. Do you understand, guys? So the next time somebody wants to help you or gives you constructive criticism, don't walk away, don't roll your eyes, listen to them. Don't say a word. Don't get defensive. Don't do anything. Listen. All right? I'm going to tell you a really quick story about me that will kind of bring it all together. I got inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Lancaster County Hall of Fame, about 4 or 5 years ago. All right? And it was and I gave a speech, and that I thought was a great speech. My dad was there, and I had cards in front, and I was reading these cards. Right? And the guy told me before, a friend of mine told me before, he said, listen, you should really memorize that speech. I tried to memorize it, but I had a lot of emotion there, and because my dad was my coach, and my dad was there, and it was really hard for me. So I was giving the speech, but I was really reading it. I wasn't giving it with my full passion like I am now. I wasn't doing that. And I got done, but my speech was awesome. My speech, I spent a lot of time on it. It was really good. I had, a projector up there. I had everything going on. So I get done with it, and I feel really good. And I look at my dad's eyes, and my dad has tears in his eyes, and I have tears in my eyes. And we just looked at each other like, he was proud of me, and I was proud of, him. And it was just a good bonding moment. I turned around and ran into my friend. The second person, the first person I met with my dad, and I just feel like I nailed the speech right on. I turned around and looked at my friend, and my friend goes, I told you to memorize that speech. It didn't have nearly as much impact as it should have. And I went from here to here. I just felt like someone just stuck a knife in me. And I was like, gosh, why? And I was like, you're a jerk. Why would you tell me that now? I got really defensive. In my brain, at least. I don't think I said it out loud. I got really defensive in my brain. And I walked away from it, did my rest of my night, and I went home and I wrote it down in my journal. I wrote it down. I said, I really feel that I should have memorized that speech a little bit better. I should have spent more time. I thought I was spending a lot of time, but I need to spend more time. And then I reflected on it the next day. I read what I said down the next day. And what I realized is he was 100% right. He might have had bad timing, but he was 100% right. So in a crucial time for me, that I was giving a speech, and I turned around, and it was bad timing, I thought, but he was right. And I took it to this day. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. If that would have happened to me a long time ago, I would have just gotten defensive, and I said, that guy's a jerk, and I don't understand why he told me that, and he has no right, and if I read it, and it doesn't really matter, but my speech didn't have as much impact. As you saw on the video later, it didn't have as much impact as I wanted it to. So he was right. So it's just listening to the constructive criticism.